everybody. Today I am just going to sit here and chat with you guys about a topic that I had mentioned prior to this moment, I guess, in a vlog of mine, the Vlogging All Day vlog video, and it is basically the topic of using YouTube as a coping mechanism and just sharing my personal experience with it and kind of in hopes of creating an open dialogue between everybody about their experience. Before we actually get into this, I don't know how long it's gonna be. I can't edit this, so it's gonna be one shot. I hope it's okay. I hope it's not too long. And I'm about to get into bed. I'm actually almost going to sleep. It's almost 10:30. But I have been putting this video off, and it's something that I really want to talk about, but it's very hard to sit and open up about your personal experiences, especially to people who you would hope understand your experience and the way that you choose to live your life with these experiences. But it's really scary to open up and everything. So I thought that today I'm feeling a little bit okay to sit and talk about this. And yes, I am sick once again. This is the third time in the last month and a half that I've gotten sick. I don't know what's going on with me. My immune system just isn't working right now. So, using YouTube as a coping mechanism. I guess I will kind of give you guys some background on what has happened to me throughout my life and I'm gonna explain to you, I guess, the origin of my issues that I deal with and how that led me to YouTube. So, all my life, I have had anxiety and depression. I've dealt with it since, the earliest that I can remember is I was 8 years old. And you might think to yourself, well, wow, geez, that's very specific. How can you say 8 years old, How can you remember, what was it about that age that really reminds you that you were dealing with it at that young of an age? And I remember having a conversation at 8 years old with my best friend at the time. And we were talking about, I don't actually know how we started talking about it, but I had just brought up about how I was really afraid of dying. And I was 8, and I don't know what was going on with me at that time, but I had a lot of things going on in my head. I had a lot of anxiety, a lot of fears, and this was before anything very major happened to me. It was just always something that I had in the back of my mind. And I remember having this conversation with my friend, and I went 4 months without hearing from him. And when we finally got back into contact, now this is somebody that I saw at school every single day, and he would go out of his way to avoid me. And one day I cornered him, and I was like, well, what's going on? We were such good friends. Why? What happened? And he said, that conversation really freaked me out, and you really weirded me out, and I just got really scared to have that conversation again. And I remember I printed this conversation out because I didn't understand what was wrong with it. And later on, a couple of years went by, and I found this printed conversation, and I was talking to him through AIM, in case anybody cares. And it was all about how I feel like I am surrounded by light, and then there's one bit, one pin, tip of a pin head, whatever, of black. And so the light is all of my life, but then I keep seeing this black, and it constantly reminds me that this isn't going to last forever. And I was 8, and I don't know where that came from. It's just something I've always had with me, this anxiety, not only just about dying or anything, but just social anxiety, general anxiety, irrational fears, and this eventually led me to having depression because I think at a certain point, up until a certain point, I didn't know anything was different about me, but I started picking up on little things that, you know, kids all around me at school wouldn't be afraid of the things that I was afraid of. People at school, they wouldn't react to things the way I would react to them, and I started to notice these differences. And that was my life from when I was 8 until I was 14. I had these issues, and I hid them really, really well. I feel like I did anyway. No, my parents didn't know I was dealing with this. My friends didn't know unless I openly talked to them about it, and if I did, that conversation would never take place again because it was such a negative experience for me to try to open up to people and then be like, well, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about because I don't experience that. So my friends didn't know, my teachers didn't know, like nobody saw this in me. It was something that only manifested in my mind, in the pit of my stomach, like those feelings, and so it was something I was dealing with for a very long time, and something I was dealing with alone. And then when I was 14, some of you might know this, some of you might not, my brother died. He committed suicide. And that really messed me up. From that experience, my anxiety skyrocketed. My depression skyrocketed. And that was when that event really propelled me into mental illness. And I don't know if these things were underneath everything else and they were just really triggered, or if these things just started after that event took place. But I know my anxiety and depression got worse. I started battling with dissociation, PTSD, borderline personality disorder, and these were all kind of self-diagnosed in the beginning. And so not until I was 17, like once I reached 17, I went to my parents and I was like, this is happening to me. And so they set up an appointment with my primary physician, and through her, I had found antidepressants, and I've gone through this whole cycle of trying to find a medication that worked. And I waited so long because I felt like medication wasn't the right way for me. I felt like if you were on medication, you were a failure, basically. And my opinion on that has completely 100% changed, and it was just a very juvenile way of looking at it because I'd already felt so different from everybody else that adding that difference on top of everything else just really made me feel isolated. So it wasn't until I was 17 that I actually confronted my parents and I was like, I need help with this. So my primary physician at the time diagnosed me with anxiety and depression and PTSD, and it wasn't until a couple years later when I went to a therapist that I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and dissociation, or a dissociation disorder. So these are things that have kind of been with me my entire life. I've had to deal with a lot of things. My life isn't a bad life. I don't complain about my life. There are definitely times where I think to myself, I really wish things would have turned out differently, and that's pretty much every day. But at the same time, I'm thankful for what I do have, and so that's kind of like the backstory. So I remember being younger and finding YouTube. And at first, YouTube was just a great way for me to come home from school. And when I finally, if any of you have any kind of mental illness and you hide it from people, you might know what it feels like to put all of your energy into hiding it, so that when you are finally alone, that disguise, it completely melts away and you are exhausted underneath and you can't hide it anymore. And that is something that still happens to me today. Like, I'll be around my extended family or something, or friends, and I will pretend that I am a-okay, and then I get home and it all just melts away and I'm a mess. And I have to go through 3 or 4 days to recover from it because that's how much it takes out of me. And so I would go to school every single day and do this every single day. And when I would come home, I would watch, my cats are being horrible, by the way. They get hyper at night. So I'd come home and I would watch YouTube and I would laugh, and it was like a little escape in my everyday world. It was just a moment in time every single day that I could just laugh with people, and I could watch people on YouTube, and I could share in their happiness and share in their excitement and share in their positivity. And that helped me get through a lot at that time. And then it wasn't until a little bit later that I started to watch people who were going through similar things that I was going through. You know, people who were going through issues with anxiety and depression and other mental illnesses, and people who have been through tragic events and who have made it out the other side. And, you know, watching people go through these things that I was going through, it definitely helped me through those times because it made me realize, okay, I went to school and I would feel completely alone, but there were other people who were pretending just like I was. And I wasn't alone in what I was feeling, because I might not know anybody personally that is going through what I'm going through, but I know that somebody somewhere is, and if they can make it through it, I can make it through it. And so that was something that helped me a lot, and meeting people through the YouTube community, it definitely, it helped me through a time, it helped me through a time that I really, really needed help with getting through. And it wasn't until a couple months ago, when I started making videos myself, that I really realized that, because I can have a horrible day and I can sit down and make a video, and by the end of the video I'm smiling and I'm happy, because just talking to you guys, even though in the moment while I'm recording, like I'm talking to my camera, my phone, despite that, like I know that I'm talking to you guys, and I post the video, I rewatch it, and I'm happy. Like, doing this makes me so happy, and then reading your comments and answering your comments and having conversations with you guys, it makes my life, it just makes me feel so fulfilled, and it makes me feel so satisfied. And I just, like, any online community, like for me specifically, it's YouTube, because I tried other online communities, and YouTube has been one that has always been there for me. But, you know, for other people, I'm sure there are other online communities like Twitter and Facebook and Tumblr and Blogspot and on WordPress and all these sites that you can meet like-minded people, and you can, you know, get to know one another and feel like you're not alone if they're going through something that you're going through as well. But it wasn't until I started making videos and I would like talk about things that I was going through, like even me losing my hair, you know, or my chronic illnesses, or just having a bad mental day, or, you know, bringing these things into my YouTube videos, and you guys commenting and being like, I know exactly what you mean, or, you know, I feel that way sometimes, or, you know, I have those days too, you know, you can get through it, all these things. It made me realize how thankful I am to have not only YouTube, but you guys. And I just feel like, whether you're mentally ill, whether you're just a person that has had a lot of hardship in your life, or you've gone through something tragic, or gone through something that has really stuck with you, I just feel like this is a discussion that we really, really need to have, that there are unconventional ways of coping with whatever you're going through. When I started seeing a therapist and a psychiatrist or a psychologist, whatever one prescribes medication. I remember I liked my therapist, but then I'd seen the psychologist because I needed medication, and the one I was on wasn't working. And I sat down, and he started asking me these questions about my brother and about the event that took place with him. And he was asking me things like, well, you know, how did it happen? And I explained, and he was like, oh, so you didn't find him. Like, you didn't find his body. And I was like, no. And he was like, well, at least you didn't find his body. I mean, some people, they just walk into a room and there's a body there, thank God. And I remember him saying that and, like, thinking to myself, I was 14, home alone when two cop cars came and the sirens were on and they knocked on the door, and I was home alone at 14, having to deal with this while my parents were frantically searching all around the roads and everything, trying to find his car, trying to find him, trying to, not knowing where he was all day. And, I remember sitting there and thinking to myself, like, why is it that I went through something very hard and very terrible and I get told that it's not as bad as what other people are going through or have gone through? And then he just wanted to take me off my antidepressant and put me on Klonopin and Xanax all day, every day. And so, being 17, 18 years old, I was like, no thank you, and I stopped seeing them. And I've always kind of felt really horrible about it because I am on antidepressants, but I know that therapy is something that really helps a lot of people, and I don't want to be one of those people that refuses to find help because of one bad experience. But I know that, like, YouTube and making these videos, it has helped me so much. My social anxiety is not nearly as bad as it was. I'm so much more confident in myself that even if I go, to the doctors alone and I'm so anxious and terrified, I can get through it. And even though, like, you might think, like, how does making videos on YouTube translate into that? It just does. I don't know, it just does. It helped me cope. It just helps me cope with my anxiety and depression so much more. Like, instead of being down all day every day or having a really bad month, because my bad periods with my depression, they can go for any length of time. It could be a day. I could have just a really, really crappy day, or I could have a whole week, and more often than not, it's a whole month that I am off. It's just the way I've always been. I have a lot of ups and downs, a lot of highs and lows, and I've been the most stable I've ever been since acknowledging that YouTube is a coping mechanism for me. I used to be out of my mind, and I say that not in a goofy way. I mean, like, I was always hostile, agitated, violent, mad, and that was just how all of these things inside of me manifested because I didn't know how to control any of it. And medication, of course, helped, but having an outlet that helps you get it all out in a positive way, it really helped. So I'm really curious to see what you guys are going to say in response to this video. It's hard for me to open up about certain things, and even then, I feel like I'm not even being too detailed. I feel like I am still kind of being a little bit vague. So if you ever want to have, like, a sit down and hear about my life type of thing and what I've gone through, I can definitely do that and do a detailed video. My cats are going crazy, guys. But I thought for the purpose of this video, I just wanted to give you like a little bit of a background of me and what my life has been like and my experiences with everything, just so that we can kind of talk about like YouTube has really changed my life in just the past couple months. And you know, I'm just really thankful for that. I'm really thankful for you guys. I am very fortunate, and I'm very curious to see what you guys think and what you guys say about this video. I hope it's not too long. I see that it's 20 minutes and I really apologize. But yeah, so I'm going to now rewatch this video, make sure it is a-okay, then I'm going to post it. So I hope you guys had an awesome day. It's now nighttime, so I hope you guys are having a whatever it is right now when you're watching this. Morning, evening, afternoon, night, whatever. You can leave me as many comments or messages or whatever, and I will make sure to respond to every single one. I'm trying my best. I'm falling behind with these like a video every day because all the comments, and I love the comments and I read every single one. I just need to manage my time better. So yeah, I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for continuing to support me. Thank you for continuing to just send me endless amounts of love. I'm sending it all back to you. Yeah, I can't thank you guys enough. So I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.